I'm not exactly sure how I'm still awake, to be totally honest. Maybe that kickstart really did the job this morning. Sir and Disney here, and it's after 10 p.m. on a Saturday evening, and to say I'm exhausted is an understatement. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there, and a lot of my personal friends I know for a fact, have longer hours, longer schedules than this, but when you're not used to it, when you have to take one night and get up the next morning to work at 8 a.m. until 6 o'clock, it's not a big deal, but it's one of those things that you just have to kind of get used to, and if you're not used to it, it's something that just kind of just hits you like a punch to the stomach. Because basically, I went to bed at 11:30 last night. I tried to get the video up, I'm sorry it took so long, but at least it was up this morning. So it's officially yesterday's video. If you can check out AJ's movie reviews, it's here on Pop right now on the playlist. It's the first video you should be seeing right now if you are seeing the recent videos. And we are talking the new release movies of the week, 3 of those, and 3 limited release movies of this current week and the past week. So you can check that out if you'd like reviews on Draft Day, Oculus, Rio 2, Afflicted, Joe, and Only Lovers Left Alive. So all of those will be reviewed, and they're all taken care of. Now, we got a brand new Versus coming out tomorrow. Should be really entertaining. Actually, we're going to go with a little Guy Ritchie Versus. So yeah, there's going to be a big battle between 2 of his most famous works of film. And the next week, we're going to go to war, if you know what I mean on that one. So yeah, that'll be really fun as well. I always enjoy Versus. I really think it's one of the most popular segments here on Pop, and AJ, I know, appreciates the fact that everybody out there enjoys them. So we have Versus pretty much all the way until 2015 and beyond at this point. We have that many ideas. And AJ and I were talking about it last night. It was kind of like, you know, when it comes down to it, Versus is over when AJ runs out of DVDs. We got a long way to go, folks. We have a long way to go. So, that being said, it was a long day. I don't know how I'm still awake, but I kind of got rejuvenated at 6 o'clock. We went to Applebee's. Everything was great. I had some food. I got me some Heath bars, because for some reason I'm a mark for Heath bars now. Don't understand what that's from, but just something that kind of happens. And now, I just finished watching Smackdown. Mom's watching Frozen in the other room. And basically, I will say that we're going to talk about Smackdown, of course. I was thinking about putting it together with NXT, like back in the old days, but I think NXT's video is going to be on Wednesday. Reason why is because I get off at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, have nothing to do afterward, so why not shoot you guys out a SmackDown video? Excuse me. An NXT video. So basically, it's going to be a really interesting time. Excuse me. We have Versus coming up tomorrow, like I said, and then Monday, who knows what's going to happen. Might be a hodgepodge video, might be something completely special. There was a new Codename released by John Murdy today, and it's Atari 2600. So apparently this is going to be a maze connected to a video game that was on the Atari 2600 console. So I've done a little homework on that, and we'll probably talk about that on Monday. That's what we're looking at right now. I'm kind of waiting on to get some new information, but I don't know if I will or not. I guess if I don't, I may not, but I still might. So yeah, that's a roundabout way to get to nothing, isn't it? So basically, we have a, yeah, I hear a Dina Menzel on my back of my mind here, because it's loud. Listen, can you hear that? Seriously. I got the door shut, I can still hear it. That's crazy. I love Frozen. Frozen's amazing. Now, we'll start off SmackDown. I started off with a nice graphic, an In Memory of Warrior. Of course, that In Memory of Warrior, 1959 to 2014. And Michael Cole had a VO basically saying, this Monday's Raw will be dedicated to the memory of Warrior, and it will pay tribute to his memory. So we're going to get a special tribute show edition of Raw this Monday night. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if we're going to have special matches. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, if it's going to be devoted to the entire 3 hours, if it's going to be a piece of it. That remains to be seen, and we will find out sooner rather than later. So, like I said before, the version I watch of SmackDown, because I'm too lazy to use my DVR, is basically I believe the Sky Sports version. It's definitely foreign, I know that for a fact. It's from another country. It's definitely not the US feed, because it opens not with the opening promo featuring John Cena. Oh no, it opens with the first match on the show, and that is the King of Swing, Cesaro, against the Big Show. So let's talk about it from what I saw. So basically, I'm going to talk about it from the perspective of the fact that Cesaro and the Big Show was the first thing, and then we go into the first promo segment afterwards. So let's talk about that. First off, Paul Heyman comes out, he says, the fact remains he is the greatest manager in the history of the WWE and all of sports entertainment. He engineered Brock Lesnar ending the streak, and he basically knew that he had to find the next big thing, and that client ended up being the King of Swing, Cesaro. So Cesaro comes to the ring, he's wearing his flashy jacket, and he's in the face-off against the Big Show. Before the match even starts, a little code of honor here. He actually shakes hands with the Big Show, and it's playing more into the fact that Cesaro is more of a babyface, even though Paul Heyman is as hated as he is as right now. So we go midway through this match, 5 big gut shots for the Big Show and the overhand chop, and Cesaro stops momentum with a shot to the throat. 2 Swiss uppercuts, whip in reverse, and Cesaro caught with a high elevation back body drop by the Big Show. 2 big overhand chops, and he gets caught with a back elbow. Double thrust to the throat on the Big Show, and stopped again with a gut shot and a headbutt this time. Stops Cesaro dead in his tracks. He walks over top of him, of course, and rams his shoulder into the midsection twice in the corner. The overhand chop again. He charges in. Cesaro gets the boot up, and he locks on the Swiss Sleeper on the back of the Big Show. Show backs him in the corner to break up the hold, and he misses the charge in the corner. Cesaro goes back to the Sleeper on the back yet again, and he turns it into his chin lock on the back as well, and Cesaro gets flipped off of the Big Show, and clothesline, whip in, comes off the ropes with a big shoulder block, sends Cesaro down to the canvas. He goes for the Goozle, sitting up for the choke slam, and he gets turned around into a Swiss Sleeper on the back yet again. Show falls back, and Cesaro is flattened on the canvas. He goes to the middle turnbuckle and goes for the elbow, and of course Cesaro out of the way, and Cesaro goes for the giant swing. Jack Swagger hits the ring, calls for the DQ, so Cesaro wins officially the match by disqualification. Swagger picks the ankle, locks on the Patriot Lock, and he basically gets shoved into the Big Show. Big Show just grabs him and just tosses him over the top rope to the floor. Cesaro bulldogs him, hot shot style, across the top rope, and the Swiss uppercut to the back of the head, and he nails a middle rope Swiss uppercut, and then he does the unthinkable. He nailed the Big Show with the Gotch style neutralizer. It looked phenomenal, to say the least. So Cesaro is on a collision course with everyone now, and everyone is on notice that the King of Swing is here, and he is here to make an impact. So, yeah, I like the match, actually. I will say it's a little different from Cesaro's normal matches. A lot more fast-paced matches, if you will. A lot more technical wrestling matches, if you will. This was more of him kind of fighting a brawler. And he did what he could with the Big Show, and no offense to the Big Show, but the Big Show relied a lot on the overhand chops. And of course, he got the 2 clotheslines, the high back body drop. He didn't really do much in the match, but he did enough. So, when they teased the giant swing, which we still haven't seen yet, so I'm going to guess that the big payoff, the huge, monstrous payoff of this entire program is the giant swing on the Big Show, which I called happening at WrestleMania, which didn't happen, but he still got body slammed over the top rope by Cesaro to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So yeah, I kind of got my big-time strength moment from Cesaro. Just proving what I've been telling everyone since day one. Cesaro is not pound for pound, but is the strongest superstar in WWE without any question. No offense to Mark Henry, but I'll tell you right now, Cesaro is the real deal. So we started off the show with the next segment that I got to see, and that was John Cena coming to the ring, and he says, you know what, you guys sound exhausted. He's like, you ready to go? And he says, WrestleMania started out with a great moment with The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the immortal Hulk Hogan in the center of the ring. And then, of course, he had to go through all the WrestleMania moments, and it had to stop with Bray Wyatt trying to turn a man into a monster, but John Cena says Bray still can't see him. Yeah. At Raw, the fans, we gotta thank them for rewriting the theme music. And if you haven't heard it yet, it's one of a really awesome video. I'm sure it's on YouTube by now. It's the fans that are actually singing the words, John Cena sucks, to the literal tune of My Time Is Now. Which is hilarious, to say the least. I spat out my soda when I heard it the first time. He says the future is now, and he proceeded to talk about being a believer and the fact that the Divas division finally turned the page. And he talks about ain't no party like an Adam Rose party, but if there's a party, you gotta have a big party's gotta have a small man. So yeah, it's really cool putting over the NXT alum that are going to be debuting on the main roster really soon. So John says, basically, he's not the game, he's not the animal, he's not the Viper, he's the measuring stick. And that measuring stick is the standard bearer. Standard bearer. Long day. He says, I am John Cena. Any superstar can talk all they want, but if they want to get to the top of the WWE mountain, they need to go through me first. So, of course, we get a wide interruption, because that's just how it works. And Luke Harper is the one to talk first. He says, time may heal all wounds, but all that Cena has done is just give him more time to get hurt. So then Bray Wyatt, of course, cuts another one of his tremendous promos. He says, sometimes I wish I could feel pain, but I am different, and we should all embrace our differences. Right, kids? For instance, if I lost to you, John, at WrestleMania, then why can't I stop smiling? And why do I feel so good? I got it. I saw it in your eyes, John. For the first time, I realized you are not hollow in there. It's right here. It's inside you, John, and it's something that I know all too well. Because when I look inside myself, I see the good, I see the bad, I see everything. I see dreams that you haven't dreamed. I see worlds you haven't discovered. I see miracles. My mind is endless and I am free. It must have been so frightening for you, John, because you were this close. You were right there. All you needed was one last push. Now I realize I have to go to new extremes if I want to bring out the monster that I know exists in you. So strap it on, John, because this party is far from over. And of course he sings, he's got the whole world in his hands, and then Eric Rowan's sheep face and done the party. Okay, once again, another brilliant promo by the master manipulator, Bray Wyatt. And oh my god, I'll tell you right now, Bray Wyatt is on a collision course to be one of the best promo guys of our generation at this point, to be totally honest. Mick Foley said it best, I said it a couple weeks ago, I think I may have said it last week too, that he basically out Mankind's Mankind. And the old school Mankind promos is basically what we're getting out of Bray Wyatt. The difference here is this is allowed to be just as evil as you can be in a PG era, still push the boundaries, and still be, like, chilling and eerie. Don't forget, when Foley used to do Mankind, it was in the Attitude Era. He had a little bit more strings not attached to him. Bray Wyatt's got a lot of red tape he has to fight through, but still, he delivers constant, incredible promos week in and week out, and he always gets his points across. Now, here's the thing about this. We are building towards John Cena and Bray Wyatt's rematch at Extreme Rules, and I know this is going to happen. Now, if this wasn't the PG era, I would love to see a barbed wire match between these two, to be totally honest. I really would. It would be amazing. But I don't think that's the direction we go. I don't think we see a death match. Could we possibly see an Inferno match, maybe? Given the fact that that was Bray's match against Kane, maybe that's a possibility. You never know. Maybe Bray will take the Inferno match for himself. I know I'd like to see John Cena get Nodawa Otachi through a flaming table. It'll never happen. But still, it's an awesome visual if it happened. And the reason I called it Nodawa Otachi, because John Cena got hit with that Uranagi by Bray Wyatt, and that was a straight-up Nodawa Otachi. So yeah, that was Japanese chokeslam, if you were curious what I meant by that. So yeah, I really like to see this get really extreme. I don't think it will, though. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Because I think this program could be the catalyst to start what internet wrestling community has wanted for so long, and that is a legitimate John Cena heel turn. I'm not talking about us pointing to his boot and then turning his foot. That's your John Cena heel turn. Ha ha, John. Really funny. I actually laughed at it. It was actually quite humorous to me. But still, this is a legitimate reason to turn John Cena into a heel. And the reason why I think that John Cena as a heel is the perfect fodder for Sting at WrestleMania 31. Now, I know this may not be a popular opinion, and it may be an opinion that most people are like, oh, and you're crazy. And my response is, well, yeah, a lot of people say that, but I'm not as crazy as you think I am. But the thing about it is, you have to look at the fact that you have Sting, Once you build Sting, you build Sting, you build Sting, you build Sting. So the WWE fans have never seen a day of NWA, never seen a day of WCW, never heard of the Blade Runners or World Class or anything involving Sting. They can know all about Sting, and Sting is the hometown boy. Now granted, this show is not taking place in Venice Beach, California, but still, it's California. He's the hometown hero, and if you build it up, and you build up a heel John Cena, this could be really awesome. And I really think that Sting and Cena could have a good match. And I know, like I said, it's not a favorable opinion, and I know what you're thinking, and they're never going to turn John Cena heel. Well, you know, if they're ever going to do it, if they ever had any indication they were going to turn John Cena heel, the time is now. Pun intended. The reason why is because now we have Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is the top babyface in the company. Now, John Cena can still do the Make-A-Wish as a heel. No issues. It's new era in wrestling. You don't necessarily have to have, even though you may agree or disagree with this, heels don't always have to be jerks 24/7. They obviously can be friendly with the fans outside. I know that was unheard of back in the day, but now it's completely normal. So yeah, we could still do that. Cena could still do his Make-A-Wish, and he could be a hated heel. But not to the fans that obviously he has touched through all the Make-A-Wishes he's done throughout the years. I think that we can get two things out of this. I think Bray Wyatt will get John Cena to do something despicable. I think Bray Wyatt is the catalyst for John Cena taking out Eric Rowan. I wouldn't take out Luke Harper, because Luke Harper is awesome. Rowan's not bad, but I mean, this is what you need to do. I think that Harper and Bray Wyatt have to watch John Cena dismantle Rowan. And Bray Wyatt is the reason for this to happen. And Bray Wyatt literally brought the monster out of John Cena. And I think down the road, obviously not now at all, if you're going to go with this Bray Wyatt Cena program, you have a match, you have a 6-man on a Raw, and you have Sting in the ring with John Cena wearing his version of Ultimate Warrior's face paint. So we get like the Blade Runners 2014, basically. Teaming up with Daniel Bryan against the Wyatt family. And you have the finish be, Bray gets down, he puts his arms out, he's begging Cena to finish him off, and he swings the chair, and he nails Daniel Bryan with it, or he nails Sting with it, and then he doesn't join the Wyatt family, no. He leaves. Doesn't say a word. You know, kind of like what Sting did when he didn't say anything at all for an entire year. We do this. And then you get like either you can go Evil Cena or we can go Rapper Cena. I like Rapper Cena. Rapper Cena is awesome. But yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what WWE would do with a program of babyface Sting. Not necessarily Crow Sting, just kind of like an amalgam of all his gimmicks. So if he's Crow Sting, I mean, that would work against The Undertaker. It makes total sense, right? But you make him a little more colorful. And I wouldn't say do Surfer Sting, not necessarily. But like a mixture of like maybe kind of like what he did in TNA. Not the Joker necessarily. No, we don't want to do that. But, I mean, like a WCW mixed with his TNA gimmick, basically. Not the Crow, but a more upbeat Sting, a more jovial Sting, a more joking Sting. I'd like to see that against a straight-up heel John Cena at WrestleMania 31. So, if anybody in WWE is watching this, and I actually know you are, because you rip me off every once in a while. I still give credit to you guys, though. Thank you for taking my stuff every once in a while. And great minds think alike, right? So, I will say right now that I think it is actually a good idea that you go run with that. And I know what you're thinking. He's never going to turn heel, but if it's ever going to happen, why not? Why don't we do this program and Bray Wyatt is the monster that turns John Cena into the monster that Bray always knew he could be. Think about it. Makes sense. So, get our next match. It's Ryback Axel. God, I hate that name. Curtis Axel and Ryback taking on Diego and Fernando Los Matadores. Once again, I voice my displeasure at this gimmick. El Torito is more over than Diego and Fernando ever will be. And I like Primo and Epico. I have no issues with them. They came out as themselves, along with Carlito, to induct Carlos Colon into the WWE Hall of Fame. I have no problems with that. Why can't they just be Primo and Epico? I don't want them to be Los Matadores. I don't like this gimmick at all. And you really are going to have to either align Sami Zayn with them, because the Olay stuff's already there, or you're just going to have to be like, okay, fine, let's squash them out, re-debut them as Primo and Epico again, or do another gimmick change with them. When Sami Zayn comes in, you can do the Olay kick and everything is peachy keen, so that's what we do here. This match was just a normal, 5-minute squash, a couple high spots from Los Matadores. I really liked a really awesome spot in the match that I really enjoyed. It was a hammerlock DDT on Curtis Axel. Ryback made the save off the 2 count, and Fernando low bridges Ryback over the top rope to the floor. Torito gets up and goes with a plancha. He gets caught, and basically Ryback tries to lawn dart him, and he gets baseball slide drop kick from behind by Diego, and he catches him with a spinning headbutt off the ring apron, does Fernando, and at this point Diego walks into the hatchet from Curtis Axel, and 1, 2, 3, Ryback will win a match. Oh my god, this never happens. But it's Los Matadores, so it doesn't matter. Tag team division is in disarray, to say the least, right now, especially after WrestleMania, and especially after Batista and Randy Orton destroyed them on Raw Monday night. I will say right now that I think there's money to be made in taking the championships off Jimmy and Jay, putting them on Batista and Orton, and let them feud with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. I think that is the right direction to go. And I said a while ago, if you want to continue this, you stick Kane on Ambrose and have him try to take the U.S. title back. That's the direction I would go with this. But who knows what they're going to do. Interesting to see Axel and Ryback win a match. Maybe they'll get a shot against the Usos on Raw this week, potentially. SmackDown next week, who knows. I know that would probably much puts them into contention for a matchup against the Usos somewhere soon, since there's really no other tag teams at this point, which is sad. WWE went from having a phenomenal tag team division to next to nothing, and knowing the fact that there's going to be a call-up very soon, before the summertime, of Connor and Victor, the NXT Tag Team Champions, The Ascension, I really think that it's going to work really well. And like I said in all my NXT recaps, if you have the right idea, you send WWE tag teams to work with The Ascension at NXT. I think they took my idea and they flipped it. They'd be like, I'm not going to take the idea because we're just going to flip it around and they're going to send the NXT Tag Team Champions to WWE instead. So either way, it's still going to be cool. Damien Sandow, who's on a losing streak, which means that he's pretty much I would say he's probably in contact with Jeff Jarrett or Dixie Carter at this point, knowing if his contract's up, he may need to go elsewhere. Taking on Rob Van Dam, who basically has been without a storyline in his first couple matches. That's okay, because you're going to have a bit in order to get him into something. I don't know who his feud will be with. I don't see it being with Sandow. Honestly, I would feud him with Wade Barrett. I think that'd be an interesting feud. And they both hit hard. Van Dam hits hard, and so does Wade Barrett. So I think that would be a good idea. So if it was me, I would start booking this match on Raw or SmackDown and start a feud between Rob Van Dam and Wade Barrett, put Barrett over, and move Barrett even closer to contention for Daniel Bryan. And I think that's the direction we're going to go in the battle between the former Nexus leader and the Nexus member that got fired before he could do anything with the Nexus. So I think that's going to be interesting to see down the line. I think that does happen. Sandow apparently called for a rematch, so yeah, this match was a little bit longer than their previous match. Van Dam goes for a moonsault off the ring apron. Sandow out of the way. Tosses Van Dam into the ring apron, then into the barricade, then back into the ring. Makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out. Repeated knee drops and makes a 1 count. Locks on a chin lock. Van Dam elbows out. And Sandow grabs the ponytail, takes him down, and drops the knee pad and leaping knee drop. Kobe Tawaki 1-2 and a kick out. 5 headbutts to the back of the head, and he lays him across the ring apron and drops the elbow right across the throat. And another elbow gets a 2 count off of it. Chin lock locked on again. Van Dam elbows his way out. Headbutt. Van Dam stops a charge to the buckle. Basically tried to ram his head in the buckle with a kick straight to the face. The body scissors, pit, roll up, 1-2, and a kick out. And the step over spin kick goes up top to the 5-star. And Sandow's up, actually stops him with a right hand, climbs up, going for a superplex. He gets punched, he gets forearmed off, and 5-star frog splash. Rob Van Dam wins again. So yeah, we get another match with Rob Van Dam beating Damian Sandow. I think we're moving on to other things soon. Like I said, the feud with Wade Barrett would actually be a really good idea at this point. So Hulk Hogan comes out and he says that at WrestleMania, because of what happened at WrestleMania, it became Yeselmania. Credit to Jerry the King Lawler for saying that first. And he said it gave him chills to see Daniel Bryan holding both world championships over his head. So he calls Bryan out to the ring, and Bryan says it's been the greatest week of his life. He's back on SmackDown after a long hiatus. He's getting married, which congratulations to Bryan and Brianna Danielson for their nuptials. Yesterday they became man and wife. So yeah, don't say that very often, and I won't say it in a lot of situations, but yes, congratulations to Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella for becoming a couple permanently. So, yes, and, of course, becoming WWE World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania is a really nice way to end the week. But he says now he's in the ring with the immortal Hulk Hogan. He's just an average fan from a small town. He sat in those same seats. He watched everything, and he has been a lifelong Hulkamaniac. The biggest superstar ever was Hulk Hogan. Says when Hulk says to say his prayers, he prayed that he would main event WrestleMania. When Hulk says to eat his vitamins, he ate every single one to get his 24-inch pythons, just like Hulk Hogan. Trouble is, didn't quite make it, but he's still trying. And he says, there's only one thing he wants to do, if you'll indulge me in this. And he says he basically needs them to hit Hogan's music. Hogan's music starts to play, and Bryan and Hogan pose together. It is quite awesome, and that's a really nice segment for SmackDown. Didn't really have much meaning, but it was really cool because Hulk Hogan and Daniel Bryan in the same ring. Really nice rub for Bryan as the new World Heavyweight Champion. Still not sure why he's wearing the world title and carrying the WWE Championship, but who knows? Either way, still awesome. Very happy Bryan's a champion, and I'm really interested to see where his next opponent is going to come from. It's going to be a match with Randy Orton at Extreme Rules, which I think it may be. Will it be Cesaro at SummerSlam? I think that'll probably happen. Could it be match against Bray Wyatt down the line? Maybe that'll happen. So maybe Maybe Bryan faces the winner of John Cena and Bray Wyatt. They have a match at Money in the Bank, and Bryan faces that man at SummerSlam. Brilliant idea. So yes, three-way between Cena, Wyatt, and Bryan. Oh yeah, the possibilities are endless, folks. They really are. So yes, really kudos there. Speaking of Wade Barrett, he comes out next, and he says, of course, grabs the mic. Before his matchup against Kofi Kingston, he says, of course, can I have some decorum, please? And he says, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Well, Kofi tries to do what Ray did on Raw, and Ray wasn't successful. Kofi wasn't either. So basically, Barrett took it to him, gave him mounted punches, and we start back into the match. He's got a gut shot, whip in, and Kofi springboards off the middle rope, turns it into a 180 missile drop kick, and Barrett goes down. Barrett in trouble, but he gets caught in, whip in reverse, and double jump flying body press from Kofi, 1-2 and a kick out. Barrett cuts off his momentum and tosses him to the outside, and Kofi skins the cat, walks right into the bull hammer, but he ducks out of the way, and the leaping clothesline off the ropes, boom drop, sets up for Trouble in Paradise. Barrett has it scouted, and he goes to the floor. He gets back in the ring after Kofi gives chase, and he catches the boot, it gets caught, spin kick from Kofi, goes for Trouble in Paradise, and bam! Bullhammer out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3, Wade Barrett wins. I will say right now, I love the Bad News Barrett gimmick, and I really think that this is going to be the chance for Wade Barrett to really shine. I really think this is a legitimate opportunity to get to the main event, and I think this exactly will be what happens to do just that. I know I've said this before, and I've thought it before, and I thought Barrett could win Money in the Bank. I thought that'd be a possibility, but I don't know. I mean, maybe Wade Barrett wins Money in the Bank this year. I think that actually might be a good direction. Barrett could win Money in the Bank. Cesaro could win Money in the Bank. Of course, my dark horse is Fandango to win Money in the Bank, because I really think there's going to be some miles of Fandango, and you know what we call that, folks? That's what we call a segue, because that's the next match of the evening. Fandango with Layla in his corner now, taking on Santina Morella with Emma. Of course, over Twitter over the weekend, if you were not aware, Fandango and Summer Rae broke up. And I think this is what's going to end up leading to Summer Rae in the corner of Big E for Big E's feud with Fandango over the Intercontinental title that I've been talking about for months. And I still will state that I think Fandango will be a singles champion before 2014 is over. Even though I said 2013 before, I know it's another year. But still, I think it'll happen this time. I'm pretty positive. And I think it's the right direction to go. I think Summer and Big E against Fandango and Layla is going to be the feud we have. It's going to take me a bit to sell on Layla. Layla's good looking, don't get me wrong. She's got the dancing chops, former Miami Heat dancer, and she's also danced for Carnival Cruise Lines. She was an original member of ECW, or in this case, WCW's Extreme Expose with Kelly Kelly and Brooke Adams. And yeah, she knows how to dance, and she did a lot of the Summer Rae mannerisms, but she did a little bit different. And this match was really short, like it always is. Fandango and Santino have about the same match every single time. We start the match off with Santino with a judo throw, arm drag into a side headlock. Fandango stops momentum with an overhand right 2 times, whip in, and a chop to Santino. And Santino goes for a wild chop, and of course he gets chopped down. Overhand right, whip in, and a back elbow mows over Santino Marella, 1-2 and a kick out. 3 snap jabs, ducks the clothesline with a split and the hip toss, and he pulls out the Cobra, and he's about ready to strike, and Layla grabs the Cobra off the hand of Santino and steals it. Santino's distracted and gets rolled up from behind by Fandango, 1, 2, 3, and that's the end of the match. No awkward date theater this week, so yay, that's always a good thing. No awkward date theater between Santino and Emma. Emma's awesome, but yeah, awkward date theater is getting kind of old. But big win for Fandango, and I'm happy to say that. And I think his winning streak will continue to another match with Big E. Like I said, we're leading towards Big E and Fandango feuding over the Intercontinental Championship. I really think he could have won Money in the Bank before. I still think he could win Money in the Bank. And if he wouldn't have got injured, wouldn't have got his concussion, I think he was about ready to win a championship as well. But now, I think he is finally in the right headspace, and he's headed towards a championship reign somewhere sooner rather than later. So we get our main event, of course, being Kane and Randy Orton and Batista against Daniel Bryan and the Usos. So, of course, we get Kane, Batista, and Orton in the back talking to each other. Kane wants Bryan all to himself, and Batista's like, no, I want to tear that kid's head off. And Orton's like, you know what? I'm going to be the #1 contender. I'm the next in line. So Kane tries to keep him on the same page and says basically that they all have to answer to a higher power, as in the Authority. So Kane walks away, and Orton and Batista's like, I haven't answered to Authority ever. And he's like, yeah, you do? No, you knew? Okay. So we get our main event of the evening, and it is the MVP of the WWE, your WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Daniel Bryan, and the current reigning and defending WWE Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jey Uso, taking on the Viper Randy Orton, the Animal Batista, and Kane. So let's talk about midway through this match. Kane with a charging clothesline in the corner, still looking like a deadbeat dad, but one with Dockers pants and an awesome belt. And he gets a sidewalk slam out of the corner, 1-2 and a kick out. Locks on a reverse bear hug and elbow out by the Uso. Tag into Orton. He makes a cover right off the top, 1-2 and a kick out. So he locks on a chin lock with a body scissors attached to it. And the Uso punches his way out, and he chops his way out, pushes him to the ropes, does Orton Samoa Joe style snap power slam, and Orton knocks Jey Uso off the ring apron for good measure. And Jimmy catches him with Samoan drop off the ropes, tagging to Kane, and he catches the foot and the spinning kick, like the spinning enziguri kick, which caught him in the shoulder, actually. Tagging to Bryan, up top, Bissell drop kick, and drop kick on Batista, knocks him off the ring apron. Kane charges in, gets caught with a drop toe to the middle turnbuckle. Bryan kicks him right in the face. Whip in reverse, backflip lands on his feet, ducks Kane's clothesline, comes off the ropes, hooking clothesline, and he goes for the S-kicks. Kane ducks the buzzsaw, and Kane charges. Bryan low bridges him and gets caught with a tope to the floor. The Usos with the Samoan suicide dive of Batista and Orton, and of course they fight on the floor until the referee calls for the bell. Heels get advantage, Usos tossed in the ring, and an RKO on one of the Usos, a Batista bomb on the other. Kane's clearing the table to try to finish off Daniel Bryan. He grabs him the Guzzo going for the chokeslam. Seth Rollins comes out of nowhere, and the Shield have attacked. So the Shield are in the ring staring down Orton and Batista, and of course they get in the ring. And Kane ends up in the ring at one point. So Kane is about ready to fight the Shield. He walks into the fire-breathing knee, and the Shield end up hitting the Cerebus bomb on Kane, leaving him laying in the Shield. Throw out the fist, Bryan throws up the fingers, and that is all she wrote for SmackDown this week. So yes, interesting show. I will say right now, if you have a chance to check out anything on the show, I would check out Cesaro and Big Show. If anything, just for the finish, I would check out the finish of the match. Cesaro with the neutralizer on the Big Show, check that out. Check that out as soon as possible. Wrestling-wise, matches I would check out. You know, honestly, there's nothing really great on this show. The main event was okay. Bryan and the Usos against Batista, Kane, and Orton. That was fine. The promos were good. Most of them were very short squash matches. And you know what? After reviewing SmackDown for over a year now, I can say without any question, SmackDown is home to 5-minute squash matches and 12-minute main events. It's a shame. That's just how it works. But yeah, that was SmackDown this week. So yeah, interesting show. Not much to say, really. Still reeling from what happened on Raw Monday night, and we still look forward to what's going to happen on this week's Raw, which should be really interesting, as it always is. Wrestling fans, I will join you later this weekend. We were going to be talking Monday. Monday, of course, is Raw, and we will recap that on Tuesday, as always. Wednesday, we're going to talk NXT from this past week, about when we had Bo Dallas trying to occupy NXT. What happened there? We will find that out if you haven't heard yet, and we will be talking about that later this week. Wrestling fans also know the TNA Impact will be returning to Pop very soon. I don't know exactly when, but with Eric Young winning the World Heavyweight Championship, I think it's about time to start talking about it. James Storm is now signed a longer contract with the company, and things are good again. So yeah, I really want to talk about TNA, but I know what you're thinking. Is like, I'm going to turn this off because we're not talking TNA. It's WWE time. Well, that being said, since it's WWE time, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and help spread the word about Pop. If you'd like to like our Facebook fan page, it's Sir Owen Disney Pop. If you'd like to be my friend on Facebook, it's Owen Disney. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Sir Owen Disney. Last but certainly not least, you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions. You want to talk WrestleMania with me? You want to talk Disney with me? Universal? You want to talk theme parks in general? You want to talk Halloween Horror Nights with me? Obviously, I'm sporting my shirt from last year and really hyped about Halloween Horror Nights 24, and we'll be talking about that here on Pop very soon. And if you'd like to do anything like that, or you'd like to be a popcaster yourself, send a video to me if you'd like to. SirOwenDisney@gmail.com. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.